Thanks to My Soul Journey 6 for this question. Great question. One of the things that makes it great is that at least 80 million people in the US are wondering the same damn thing. And perhaps half the world is wondering the same damn thing. What do people see in this guy? I myself am completely vexed by the question, but having written a book just recently about cults, and including the cult of Trump in the cult section, I'm going to take an educated stab at it. First thing to remember, which I've talked about in previous videos, is that nobody joins a cult. Even in this case, having been in a cult myself, I know this to be true. People are lured into cults under false pretenses. And in this case, it is the millions of lies upon lies that Donald Trump tells and has been telling for decades. He is unquestionably a pathological liar, and as far as I can tell, is actually incapable of distinguishing truth from fiction. In any case, he is definitely a master manipulator, just like every other cult leader. Now, one of the other vexing things about cult leaders is that it's an entirely subjective affair. One person sees a total creep and another person sees a savior. So one can think about like notorious cult leaders like Charles Manson. I'm sure a lot of people at the time thought, stay away from this guy. He is bad news. He is an awful person. And other people thought, no, he's very enlightened and he's very wise and he's a wonderful person, God incarnate. So the vexing part in this case is that so many of us just look at Trump from the get-go. We knew this, that he was a complete fraud, a charlatan, a liar, just somebody who was not in any way to be trusted. It just seemed obvious before he even started to speak. And of course, there are people who have seen him speak and knew about him for decades and decades, and he has a reputation that precedes him. He is absolutely known, at least in New York and on the East Coast, as a complete huckster and a fraud and somebody who doesn't pay his employees and basically cannot be trusted as far as you could throw him. Beyond that, the main thing that Donald Trump brought to the table, which is his major appeal, is that he's a grievance president. He made people feel comfortable airing their grievances. He legitimized their grievances, and even beyond that, he made their grievances and their bigotry and their racism, he made that almost like a noble cause. You know, you're in this club and we're fighting the so-called evil in the world, the Democrats and the woke mob and all that kind of stuff. And he made it people feel as though they were part of something special. In addition to legitimizing hatred of others, I think Trump gave some kind of expression to a kind of self-loathing that I believe a lot of these people feel. For those of us not in the cult, we look at Trump and we see this guy is deeply unhappy. It is totally obvious. He is a putrescent sack of self-loathing and insecurity, just this swarm of insecurities. He's a deeply unhappy person. And I think a lot of people resonated with that, whether they did so consciously or not. They thought, he's my guy. He's like me. I can relate.